So for your steering wheel controls, your left side of your steering wheel, these are going to be all related to your audio system, except your little toggle here, which is for your driver information center that we just went over. So your audio controls are pretty straightforward. This is going to be your seek button left and right. This will take you through a sequence of songs. This will also take you through your favorites sequentially. Your source button will change you from AM, FM, XM radio. So you can do that on the steering wheel without taking your hands off. This is going to be related to your phone. First button is going to be to answer when you're receiving a call. Other button is going to be to hang up. These do have two functions. Hitting this button will also pull up the phone menu on the screen. So if you have a phone paired, it'll pull up the phone menu. If you do not have a phone paired, it'll take you here to where you can pair a device by following the instructions. Very easy to pair. The hang up button also serves as a mute. So you can see when I hit the button, it says mute off, mute on. It shows on the radio as well right there at the top. Mute off, mute on. This is going to be a Bluetooth button. I do have a separate video dedicated to your voice recognition that I'll link here, and you can check that out. It gives some really good examples of what you can do, but there's two functions to this button as well. Simply pressing and releasing is going to access the Bluetooth for the car itself. Press and holding is going to access the voice recognition or the voice assistant from your phone. So if you have an iPhone, that is how you access Siri. If you have an Android, then you are going to access your basically your voice assistant. And then last but not least, you have your volume controls right here at the bottom. Right side of the steering wheel, if you've been behind the wheel of any late model Subaru, this looks extremely familiar to you. In fact, it's the same in all of the vehicles. So these are going to be your controls for your cruise control. So the main button is going to be this button here. This is your cruise main, and you notice when I hit that button, my display changes and it puts the car and basically my cruise menus right there in front of us. All right. This button and this button is going to correspond to changing your following distance. So right now it's set at the max distance. If I press this button down, it's going to change it so I can select my following distance. That's not car lengths. I have mentioned this in every other video where I've mentioned your cruise control. It's not car lengths. It's more of reaction time and stopping distance. So just keep that in mind. This toggle is how you're going to set your speed. Once you get up to speed, you flip it down to set it. And then you notice it also has a minus next to it. So if you set it, let's say at 60, and if you need to go 58, then you can bump this down twice. It'll do 1 mile per hour increments, changing without you having to try to get to the perfect speed and capture it that way. So you can set it and then you can fine tune, adjust it. Resume is going to resume cruise. So if you've interrupted the cruise and you want to resume back to your previously saved speed, which will show right here where the 3 dashes are, you flip up that resume, the car is going to go ahead and resume back to that set speed or to the following distance, whichever of the two is going to be less. And then last but not least, you have your lane centering. So when we hit that button, it's going to put that steering wheel up there that says ready. Lane centering is going to, whenever you activate cruise control, so when adaptive cruise control is set, when you activate lane centering, it's going to give some automated steering input. The car is going to do it itself to help keep you in the center of the lane. So that greatly reduces driving fatigue and enables you to focus on the road and focus on driving without having to do all of this feedback, which, you know, it does wear you down over time when you're doing a lengthy drive. The last thing I wanted to show related to cruise control is going to be how to turn on conventional cruise. So there may be a situation where you don't want to use adaptive cruise and you need to use conventional cruise, or if you're going to be going through, say, a heavy construction area and you feel like it's going to possibly interfere with the readings of the car and your cruise control. What you're going to do is press and hold one of these buttons for a few seconds. So I'll press and hold the top button and then I'll show you what happens here. So you hear the audible tone, your adaptive cruise control, your lane centering, all of that overlay has disappeared. And now we see that cruise control symbol right there. That's letting you know that we've got conventional cruise control.